Ladies and gentlemen, remember, weakness lives in excuses. Kill it with ownership. Weakness lives in fear. Kill it with action. Weakness lives in comfort. Kill it with challenge. Weakness lives in inconsistency. Kill it with discipline. Weakness lives in delay. Kill it with decisiveness. The future belongs to the bold, to the strong, to those who are willing to endure pain, embrace sacrifice, and rise beyond limitations. Be that person. Be the hero of your own story. Be relentless. Be unshakable. Be unstoppable. Because the world doesn't need another person who settled for mediocrity. It needs you, the strongest, boldest, most alive version of you. A story of victory over weakness. Let me give you a story, one that shows this is not true, but absolutely real and memorable forever. Oprah Winfrey was born into poverty in rural Mississippi. She faced abuse, rejection, and every possible obstacle stacked against her. By all accounts, the weak version of her life story was written: a future of mediocrity, despair, or worse. But she chose differently. She leaned into education. She sharpened her voice. She killed the weak version that said, "You're just a poor girl from nowhere," and replaced it with the strong version that declared, "I have a voice and the world will hear it." She took responsibility for her story. She endured discomfort. She faced rejection after rejection, and yet she persisted. Today, she is one of the most influential women in the world, not because life was easy, but because she destroyed the parts of herself that whispered, "You can't." Her story is proof. Proof that your past is not your prison. Proof that weakness can be eliminated. Proof that greatness is forged in the fire of resilience. The hero of your story. Now let's talk about you, because this isn't about Oprah, The Rock, or Edison. This is about the person staring back at you in the mirror. You are the hero of your story. But heroes are not born, they are created. They are created through sacrifice, discipline, and the willingness to endure pain and discomfort. Heroes don't avoid the dragon, they slay it. And your dragon is the weak version of yourself. Stop looking outside for someone to rescue you. Stop waiting for the perfect mentor, the perfect opportunity, the perfect condition. The hero you are waiting for is already inside you. I want to ask you a question that may shake you right to your core. How much longer are you willing to let the weak version of yourself dictate the outcome of your life? That's not a soft question. That's not a casual, feel-good inquiry. That's a question that cuts deep because every single one of us has two versions living inside of us. There's the bold, strong, relentless force capable of greatness. And then there's the weak version, the whispering voice that says, "Not today, maybe tomorrow. You're not ready. You'll never make it." And let me tell you this, if you don't kill that weak version, it will kill your dreams. Face the weakness. The first step is simple, but it's also the hardest. Admit it exists. Most people live in denial. They cover their insecurities with excuses. "I'm too busy. I don't have the resources. Life isn't fair." But denial doesn't protect you, it traps you. Weakness grows strongest when it's hidden in the dark. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The battle is not out there, it's in here. The weak version of yourself is fed by your thoughts, your excuses, and your avoidance. Shine a light on it. Name it. Call it out. Ask yourself, what is my weakness? Is it procrastination? Fear of failure? Lack of discipline? Comfort addiction? Until you can name it, you cannot tame it. Burn the excuses. Excuses are lies you sell yourself so you can stay comfortable. and comfort is the breeding ground of mediocrity. Every champion you admire, whether in business, sports, or art, has faced obstacles. The difference is they refuse to let excuses define them. Let me tell you something. Stop blaming your boss, your parents, the government, your past, or the economy. When you do that, you hand over your power. You are not a victim. You are a decision maker. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, you become unstoppable. Viktor Frankl wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. If a man in a concentration camp can find meaning, what excuse do you have?" The decision to change. Transformation begins with a decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a maybe someday. It begins with the words, enough. When you finally say, period, I will no longer tolerate this version of myself, you access a reservoir of strength you didn't know you had. That's when real change begins. Tony Robbins often says, change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. You have to get to that point. You have to decide that your current patterns are unacceptable. And here's the truth. The weak version of yourself will fight back. It'll whisper, remember when you failed before? Don't risk it. Wait for the right time. But the right time never comes. The right time is always now. Draw that line in the sand. Decide today that you're done living below your potential. Fear is the enemy of greatness. Fear is the weak version's greatest weapon. It feeds on hesitation, on those moments when you second-guess yourself. But here's the truth. Fear is not a wall, it's a door. On the other side of fear is everything you want. Let me give you an example. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson didn't start as the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. He started as a kid who dreamed of playing professional football. He was cut from the Canadian Football League. No money, no future, no plan. His weak version could have said, "See, you're a failure. Give up." But instead, he faced the FEAR. He pivoted. He embraced wrestling, an arena filled with uncertainty. He endured humiliation, ridicule, and brutal training. And you know the result. He built one of the most successful careers in wrestling, transitioned into Hollywood, and became one of the highest-paid actors in the world. He once said, "Success at anything will always come down to this: focus and effort, and we control both." That is how he killed his weak version. Not by avoiding fear, but by charging through it. Surround yourself with strength. Look at your circle. Who do you spend time with? Because if you surround yourself with complainers, excuse makers, and mediocrity, you will reflect that. Weakness loves company. It thrives when you hang around others who normalize playing small. But when you surround yourself with winners, people who challenge you, push you, and demand more of you, you rise to their level. Energy is contagious. Jim Rohn said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." If that's true, then who are your 5? Do they lift you or pull you down? If they pull you down, you must make changes. It's not selfish, it's survival. Seek mentors, role models, and communities that breathe strength. Put yourself in environments that force you to grow. The weapon of discipline. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Weakness thrives on inconsistency. It thrives when you skip the workout, hit snooze, or indulge in comfort instead of progress. Discipline eliminates excuses. Discipline means you act not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. Muhammad Ali said it best. "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. That's discipline. That's sacrifice. That's the price of greatness. Build small daily habits. Read 10 minutes. Write for 15. Train for 30. These aren't minor acts. They are bricks in the foundation of your success. Weakness hates structure because structure demands accountability. And with discipline comes respect, self-respect. Every time you honor a commitment to yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are capable. That's how you build unshakable confidence. Time is your currency. The weak version of you wastes time. It scrolls endlessly, binges shows, engages in meaningless conversations. But time is the one thing you can never get back. Strong people value time as the currency of success. They guard it. They invest it. You must learn to say no. The weak version says yes to everything because it's afraid of disappointing others. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you say no to your growth. Plan your day with intention. Structure kills chaos. Prioritize what matters long-term, not just what feels urgent. Ask yourself, is this worth my time? Does this move me closer to the life I want? If the answer is no, cut it out. Consistency over time creates power. Consistency is not sexy. It's not glamorous. It's not instant. But it is the most powerful force in personal growth. The weak version starts strong but fades fast. It loves instant gratification. But the strong version understands that success is built over months, years, decades of showing up, every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Consistency compounds. Small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. Stop waiting for permission. The weak version of you waits. It waits for permission. It waits for validation. It waits for the perfect moment. But listen to me, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to hand you the life you dream of. The perfect time doesn't exist. The stars will never perfectly align. The weak version says, tomorrow. The strong version says, now. There's a green light in your life, and it has been green all along. You've been waiting for someone else to tell you to hit the gas. But you are the driver. You've always been the driver. Stop asking, am I ready? And start declaring, I am ready enough. Challenge yourself constantly. Growth doesn't live in comfort. Comfort is where the weak version builds its home. If you want to kill that version, you must deliberately place yourself in discomfort. Do the things that scare you. Push the boundaries of what you think you can do. Take cold showers. Speak up in the meeting when your voice shakes. Ask for the opportunity that intimidates you. Run the extra mile when you're already exhausted. Why? Because challenges shape you. They reveal the parts of you that are strong, and they destroy the illusion of weakness. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000 times before creating the light bulb. When asked about those failures, he famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That's the mindset of a man who killed his weak version daily through perseverance. Stop comparing. Comparison is poison. The weak version of you scrolls social media, measures your timeline against someone else's highlight reel, and feels inadequate. But your journey is not theirs. Your struggles, your timing, your opportunities are unique. The strong version of you doesn't compare, it learns. It sees someone else's success and says, what can I take from their example? What can I apply to my own path? When you stop comparing, you free yourself. You begin to compete only with the person in the mirror. That's the only competition that matters. Face fear head on. Let's talk about fear one more time. Because fear isn't something you conquer once, it's a battle you fight daily. Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. These fears keep you paralyzed. But here's the secret. Fear shrinks in the face of action. Write your fears down. Call them by name. Then confront them with movement. Make the phone call. Launch the project. Step into the arena. Franklin D. Roosevelt said during the Great Depression, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." That wasn't a slogan, it was a survival principle. Fear itself is the barrier. Once you act, fear loses its power. Eliminate excuses from your vocabulary. Excuses are easy. Solutions are hard. The weak version of you says, "I can't because." The strong version says, "I will figure out how." Stop telling stories that justify your limitations. Start telling stories that create possibilities. Steve Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Do you think those people sat around making excuses? Or did they take imperfect action over and over until they created breakthroughs? If you want to kill the weak version of yourself, you must eliminate the option of excuses. Practical advice for killing weakness. Let's make this practical. Here are tools you can use every single day. Morning ritual. Start your day with intention. Meditate, journal, exercise, or affirm. Set your mental state before the world sets it for you. Set non-negotiables. Define 2 to 3 habits you must execute daily, no matter what. Protect them like oxygen. Accountability. Share your goals with someone who will hold you to them. Weakness hides in secrecy. Audit your circle. Remove toxic influences. Add mentors, coaches, or peers who live the standards you want to embody. Time blocking. Design your schedule. Don't drift into distraction. Intentionally decide how your time is spent. Incremental growth. Commit to getting 1% better every day. Over a year, that's 37 times better than when you started. Celebrate progress. Acknowledge wins. Momentum builds when you see evidence of progress. These are not theories, they're strategies. Use them, and you'll starve weakness until it withers. Resilience is the muscle of greatness. Let me be very clear. The weak version of you collapses at the first setback. It's fragile. It looks for shortcuts. It wants applause without effort. But the strong version? It is resilient. Resilience is not avoiding failure. It is absorbing failure, bending under the weight, and bouncing back stronger. Think about it. When you go to the gym and lift weights, your muscles actually tear. That tearing is micro damage. But what happens after? They rebuild themselves stronger than before. That's resilience. Your life is no different. Every failure, every rejection, every disappointment is a chance to rebuild stronger. Weakness makes excuses. Strength learns, adapts, and evolves. Pain is the price of progress. You cannot escape pain. The weak version of you tries to avoid it, numb it, or hide from it. But avoidance only compounds the suffering. The strong version understands that pain is not punishment. It's tuition. It's the price of entry into greatness. Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "Pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever." He understood that discomfort is the doorway. Every time you face pain, whether physical, emotional, or mental, you are standing at a crossroads. One road leads back to comfort, mediocrity, and the weak version of yourself. The other road leads forward to growth, strength, and greatness. Choose pain now or regret later, but you cannot escape the cost. The vision that pulls you. Weakness thrives when you live without vision. When you're drifting, when you're surviving, when you're just getting through the day. But strength is born when you have a vision so compelling that it pulls you forward. A vision that is bigger than your excuses, bigger than your fears, bigger than your comfort zone. So ask yourself, what do I want? Who do I want to become? What will my legacy be? Don't give me vague answers. Get crystal clear. Picture it. Feel it. Describe it until you can close your eyes and see it like it's already real. When your vision is strong enough, your discipline won't feel like sacrifice. It will feel like alignment. You're no longer dragging yourself to do the hard things. Your vision is pulling you, demanding you to act. Legacy over convenience. Here's the truth. Most people don't want to hear, period. The weak version of you is obsessed with convenience. It wants what is easy, fast, and painless. But the strong version thinks about legacy. Legacy means, what will I leave behind? What will people remember when I'm gone? Did I live fully? Did I impact others? Did I maximize what I was given? Convenience dies with you. Legacy lives beyond you. Every choice you make either feeds convenience or builds legacy. Which one will you choose? The enemy called comfort zone. The comfort zone is seductive. It whispers, stay here. It's safe. You don't have to risk anything. You don't have to change. But here's the truth. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. The strong version of you treats comfort like a poison. Every day you must take steps outside of it. Big or small, it doesn't matter. Growth only happens when you leave the safety of what you know. As T.S. Eliot once wrote, only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. Your weak version says, don't risk it. Your strong version replies, risk is the path to reward. Practical weapons for the mind. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but only if you learn to use it. Here are tools to train your mental edge. Reframe failure. Instead of saying, I failed, say, I learned. Every setback is a data point, not a death sentence. Mental rehearsal. Visualize success before it happens. Athletes do this to prime their nervous systems. You can do the same for any goal. Interrupt negative patterns. When the weak version whispers doubt, interrupt it. Stand up, move, shout an empowering phrase, break the loop. Gratitude discipline. Each morning, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude weakens fear and fuels courage. Language upgrade. Stop saying I can't, and start saying, I will figure it out. The words you use shape your reality. A celebrity who chose strength. Let's bring another story here, one you may not know in detail. Lady Gaga, before she was a global icon, was dropped from her first record label after just 3 months. Imagine the humiliation. Imagine the rejection. Her weak version could have said, you're not good enough. You'll never make it. But instead, she doubled down. She kept performing. She kept writing. She built a resilience forged in fire. She once said, you have to do what you were born to do. You have to keep going. Today, she's not just a music superstar, but also an actress, activist, and cultural icon. Her story isn't about talent alone. It's about destroying the weak version of herself that wanted to quit after rejection. Becoming unstoppable. Unstoppable doesn't mean you never get tired or hurt or discouraged. It means you never stop. The weak version of you stops at obstacles. The strong version keeps going. The weak version stops when it feels fear. The strong version acts anyway. The weak version stops at rejection. The strong version says next. Unstoppable is a mindset. It's a decision you make every morning. No matter what comes, I keep going. Contribution elevates you. Weakness is selfish. It thinks only about survival, only about self-preservation. Strength, however, is fueled by contribution. When you decide to use your growth to serve others, to lift others, to inspire others, you tap into an energy far bigger than yourself. This is why the most fulfilled people in the world are not those who take the most. They're those who give the most. If you want to kill the weak version of yourself, commit to serving something greater. Whether it's your family, your community, or humanity, find a mission bigger than you. The final call to action. So here we are. You've heard the truth. You've felt it. And now the question remains, what will you do with it? Will you let this be another motivational speech that fires you up for 5 minutes and then fades? Or will you make the decision, the irrevocable decision, that today is the day you kill the weak version of yourself? Decide right now. That's all it takes. Not a casual decision, not a half-hearted attempt, but a declaration. Say it out loud if you have to. The weak version of me is dead. The strong version of me is alive. And then prove it with your habits, with your discipline, with your actions, every single day. Final crescendo, kill the weak version. So I leave you with this. Decide today that the weak version of you is dead. No more excuses, no more hesitation, no more comfort zones. Discipline is your weapon. Consistency is your armor. Time is your currency. Fear is your test. Kill that weak version every morning you wake up. Kill it when you say no to distraction. Kill it when you show up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. Kill it when you step into discomfort. Because on the other side of that death is life. Real life. A life of growth, contribution, impact, and fulfillment. Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Find your why. Use your mind as your greatest weapon. Stop looking for permission. Take responsibility. Step into your destiny. And when you do, the strong version of you, the disciplined, courageous, unstoppable version, will rise. It's time to kill the weak version of yourself. Because your future, your dreams, your destiny depend on it.